Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to F1 2020 here for round 21 of the My Team career mode for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Typically a strong track for the player and a relatively decent track for myself, so hopefully we can pull a decent result out. If you haven't seen the last race in Mexico, I would definitely recommend going checking that one out, because that was I don't really know how to describe it, but it was a bloody good race for me. It was a very enjoyable one to watch and to drive. But now we're here for qualifying 1, doing our first flying run. It's our second lap on these tyres because we've validated our first run. Luckily the fuel and ERS usage around Brazil allows you to do 2 flying laps in succession. We come across the line to set a 1 minute 7.2, which currently puts us P8 provisionally in qualifying 1. So we may have to go out and do another lap. As you can see, close to the end of the session, we are actually on another lap here. We're currently nearly 7.5 tenths up on our previous best, so as we cross the line for the end of Q1, it's going to be a 1 minute 6.5, and that's going to be enough for P6, and me and Jack get through both P7 and P8, so good to see that we do actually have good pace on here. As Alexander Albon, who is currently 1 point ahead of us in the championship, decides not to set a lap, which is a bit odd there. Sergio Perez also collided with me in qualifying and picks up a 5 place grid penalty. I don't actually remember him doing that, so that was very odd. But as we come to the end of qualifying 2 now, we went out on a used set of tyres, I believe, to set that 1 minute 6.2, which was good enough for P12, and we come across the line on a fresh set of softs and we go P5. So we definitely have the pace this weekend, which is it's definitely nice to see. As you can see that my teammate not getting through, Valtteri Bottas going through on the mediums, so he could potentially be doing a one-stop strategy this race. We are going to be doing, I believe, a 2-stop. The one-stop is definitely possible, but I don't think at this point I want to take any risks with strategy. Now, we finish our first flying run in Q3, once again on another used set of soft compound tyres. We do a 1 minute 6.6. And now starting our final lap in qualifying, we're currently in 6th place, hopefully trying to improve to maybe the second row of the grid. Coming through turns 1 and 2, we pick up a little bit of time on the exit of turn 2, and keeping all the way to the left to activate the DRS as soon as possible. We've now slipped to 7th place. Go down to turn 4, throw the car in 4th gear, short shift on the exit. Or actually don't short shift, but okay, nice. I guess I don't even know how I drive. I'll go through this double right-hander here. We managed to find half a tenth through there, which is nice. Then we didn't get the perfect exit, so we lose a little bit through there, and now go through the middle sector, which is where I feel I'm stronger than the AI, but it's not. I'm pretty weak around, as we massively missed the apex there. We're going to lose pretty much all the time that we just gained. So hopefully we're going to look to make a 1.5 tenth improvements, go through the final corner to get a good exit here, which we do. So we're going to be gaining time all the way down this final straight. We're going to hug the car all the way to the left here, activate the DRS, and now we just fire to the light. It's going to be a 2 tenth improvement. We're going to set a 1 minute 6.4, which is going to be good enough for P6, so 3rd row of the grid. Starting on the inside, so that should be should give us a decent advantage. As you can see, without the mistake that we made in the middle sector, we could have potentially gotten P4 and been ahead of Valtteri, which would have definitely helped us out in terms of the strategy, because if Valtteri's on those mediums and he can stay ahead of us, that's going to really harm our race. I think we're looking to do soft, medium, soft maybe. I don't actually remember what strategy we did. Anyway, we will get into the strategy thing now, so let's get into the Brazilian Grand Prix, the penultimate round of this championship. Hopefully we could have a decent result and potentially put ourselves closer to Albon and Vettel in the championship.
Formula One returns to Sao Paulo once again with the stage set for what promises to be another classic Brazilian Grand Prix. Sebastian Vettel famously clinched his 3rd championship here in 2012, and in 2016, Max Verstappen treated us to one of the finest wet weather drives of all time. crucial anti-clockwise race here at Interlagos, where the Sao Paulo locals are packed into the grandstands at each of the 15 corners around this classic 2.7-mile circuit. Two very fast sections bookend the famous and highly technical Sector 2, where getting a good run out of Sao into one of the two DRS zones will be the key to any overtaking prospects today. Anthony Davidson is alongside me as usual for the race today. Why don't we start by talking about Valtteri Bottas? What a season they've had. A well-deserved championship victory and the pressure now surely off with the title already in the bag.
It really is well-deserved. I wouldn't say it's been a faultless title challenge, but certainly one that's been consistent and well-managed. Here's hoping they let off a bit of steam today and give us an exciting race.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Ricciardo, Red and Vettel, Sainz, Norris, Fiat and Max Verstappen. They've taken a grid penalty. Stroll, Gasly, Sergio Perez and Giovinazzi, Grosjean, Magnussen, Kimi Raikkonen and Esteban Ocon. Russell, Latifi, Aitken and Alexander Albon picks up the last spot on the grid. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
So as you can see the strategy there, we could do a one stop or we could do a two stop. The one stop is faster on paper, but I feel in theory it actually isn't as quick. And we're going to look here to do the softer medium strategy. See how well that goes, and that is actually going to be faster than softer hards, but I think I'm going to stick with the two stop despite it being around about 9-10 seconds slower. As you can see, I'm going to spend quite a bit of time deliberating over what I'm actually going to do, because I want to get this right. I want to maximise this position. I usually aim for every race to finish where I started at the very minimum. I don't want to slip any lower than 6th for this race, because I'll definitely harm our championship. As you can see, we're actually going to be looking to do a potential soft, medium, soft strategy here. And we're also going to underfuel the car. I think we are. We're gonna put it down to 36 laps. I feel like you can save a lot of fuel in the middle part of the lap. We're actually going even lower than that, because this car does actually have pretty decent fuel efficiency. And now we decided to go higher now. Wow, I really don't remember what happened. Yeah, I feel like I could have probably gone a bit lower than in the fuel than what I eventually decide to pick, because of how much you can save in the middle sector. The middle sector, you just run lean through the entire thing. You only really need to use rich on the main straight and the second DRS zone. As we currently sit looking at nothing and doing nothing. I was probably on my phone at this point, and I decided not to edit it out. So there we go, finally. We're actually going to go with plus 1.2 laps of fuel. No, we're not. Oh my god. You know what? In the comments, how much fuel we're going to have. Who knows? Who cares? Because one day we'll choose. There we go. 0.6 of a lap over, and that's going to be our final decision. So we're getting ready for the start of the Brazilian Grand Prix. We've got 3, 4, now 5 red lights. And it's lights out and away we go. We get a amazing start compared to Daniel Ricciardo and Valtteri Bottas ahead. Valtteri gets held up by Leclerc, and a bit of weaving going on there between the two of them. We managed to improve up to P5. I think we started P5 anyway because someone had a grid penalty, so easy position for us as well. Now we're going to be looking to get close to Valtteri, maybe pass him. We've got to pass him early before our softs start to die off. Obviously doing the 2-stop could hamper us later in the race. In terms of time, obviously, you know, these guys are doing one less stop than us, so they're going to be 10 seconds ahead as Vettel dives the power inside there through the double right-hander. So what we need to do is we need to be quick here. We need to get through the field as quickly as possible. Obviously, I'm expecting, if the standard strategy that Jeff has given us is to do soft hard rather, I'm expecting everyone to do that. Valtteri potentially could go softs at the end, or just run hards if he wants to be that conservative. Don't really know why he started on the mediums, but And again, there isn't really much I understand about this game and its logic. So we complete the first lap now. Ricciardo's pulled a bit of air gap to Valtteri ahead, so that's going to help us out in terms of Valtteri not having DRS. So hopefully we'll get past him relatively soon as we get our first warning for track limits. We're going to have to be very careful because Brazil is, especially those first 3 corners, is pretty tough on the track limits. As we now move on to the end of lap 3, DRS has been enabled. We come across the line to set our personal best of the race of 109.3. That's nowhere near going to be what the quickest lap is this weekend as we run wide again, so that's our second track limits warning. Yeah, so yeah, we've got to go another 33 laps without getting another warning, otherwise we get a penalty. As we dive down the inside of Valtteri going to turn 4, the soft tyres are still pretty decent, so that allows us to pull that move off relatively easily. And now we've got to hunt down Ricciardo. And hopefully catch us to the back of him before the main straight. Otherwise we'll be pretty scuppered, and I believe we did. We stuck inside to Ricciardo's DRS, and we managed to pull outside of Valtteri's. So Valtteri's going to be under threat from Vettel now. We're going to be putting Ricciardo under threat, and hopefully we might look for a move down the side of turn 1. We decide to wait and go for a move up in the inside into turn 4 potentially. Unfortunately, we get a pretty poor run out of turn 2 through turn 3, but with the DRS and overtake enabled, we're going to burn a lot of ERS here to get past Ricciardo because I don't want to be held up by him. And we make a pretty decent move up the inside there. He squeezed us, but we found the space. As there's a yellow flag behind us, the Carlos Sainz is out of the race. We have a safety car here on lap 7, so this definitely helps us out with our strategy. Esteban Ocon is also out of the race. And I was wondering what's going on there, because as Max Verstappen is also out of the session. It's a very unusual place to retire. It's a very unusual incident. Is when we go back. Yeah, a lot of things have happened. I initially thought that someone had retired. See McLaren spinning round. I only caught the end of the incident, but fortunately, I did go back in the replay and I did clip it. I did include that bit in the video, so we will eventually get on to seeing that. As I'm just going through all the cars, trying to work out what's actually happened. So it looks like Ocon has potentially hit maybe one of the McLarens, as his left wheel's been taken completely off. We've got one of the racing points that's ghosted and not driving through the McLaren. People making up all sorts of positions. I see Verstappen's pulled off to the right hand side there. So maybe Verstappen started this whole incident if he's had a mechanical failure. He's lost his front wing, so it can't be Verstappen that's caused it. So maybe there was some battling going up ahead. But you can see he's lost his front wing and then he pulls off to the side, so maybe there's some extra damage there that we saw. As we see, we're actually going to look at the incident now. So you've got the two McLarens battling through turns 1 and 2, leaving each other just enough space. And I believe this is Sainz we're on board with. As you can see, he tries to go out the outside, or tries to do a switchback on his teammate, and just loses the car on the straight, and then Verstappen absolutely collects him. And then I think Ocon just gets caught up in that as the unlucky. Well, everyone was unlucky there. Sainz was the initial cause of that incident. As you're going to see here, hopefully we'll round aboard with Verstappen. So Sainz just loses it, just out of nowhere, to which maybe he got caught up behind Lando, maybe the DRS off, so he loses his rear wheel. Verstappen actually plies to the back of him, loses his front wing somehow. Maybe there was some extra damage that we can't actually see because the game of Verstappen just decided, fuck this, I don't want to race anymore. So you see, that's a pretty terrifying angle for Verstappen. Couldn't really do anything. And then there's Sainz is out of control, spinning everywhere. You've got the AlphaTauri here that just, I don't know. I've got no words. He just aims for the McLaren and torpedoes him. I don't know who that is. And then the AlphaTauri hitting the McLaren, spinning around even further, catches Ocon out. Ocon could have done a lot more to avoid that incident, to be fair. But yeah, I guess that's the AI being special. You see, we've got to have a look at what Sainz is viewed out for the entire incident. So yeah, he just loses it randomly. Verstappen gets tagged, and then he's in the wall. Then he just gets smacked by the AlphaTauri. I think that could have been Daniel Kvyat. That would make sense. given what the incident was. But yeah, it's just very odd. But anyway, the safety cars helped us out a lot because we now get a free pit stop to go to the mediums. So this is going to basically mean that everyone switches onto a 2-stop. And our 2-stop is basically going to pay off here, as we get a 2-second pit stop, but we get held, unfortunately, for Charles Leclerc. We get held for his ghosted car. Anyway. Yeah, I don't know what the AI, or the AI looks to move on to a 2-stop. I don't know what their original plan was, but this point when I was doing the race, the safety car, I was very happy with it because it allowed us to make a free pit stop. And Leclerc's come out all the softs. So he's definitely going mediums to the end. He's going to be a bit faster than us, but luckily the field's been bunched up. Hopefully we can go through this. We could potentially take these mediums to the end, but we've got to be very gentle with them. I don't think it's going to happen. If I wanted to do that, I'd have gone onto the hards. But we'll get ready for the restart now. Hopefully try and make quick work of my teammate. Hopefully a bit of team orders comes into place. We look for the outside, but he can actually dive down this side of Leclerc, and he does actually pick up a bit of front wing damage for that interesting braking approach to that corner. I don't know what he was doing. But as you can see, the field's been shaken up quite a bit. We've got Latifi in P10. I think Valtteri's leading this race now on those mediums. So the safety car's definitely helped him out, or at least Valtteri's P2, as Ricciardo's looking to go around our outside, but we managed to cover him off. And now at the end of lap 10, we're just going to breeze past Aiken here. Hopefully he doesn't fight this all too hard, because yeah, being a team player, he's actually in a decent position here. If he takes those softs a few more laps, he could potentially go hards to the end. I think that's what his original plan is, or his plan is to do. And now we're behind Leclerc again. Leclerc was sort of my rival for this race, and now he's caught up behind Raikkonen, so hopefully we're going to cut our way through the field together. If I can stay with Leclerc for the next 5 laps maybe, then I'll start having the pace advantage with his tyre wear, and my medium's still being relatively fresh as Leclerc goes around the outside of Raikkonen to turn 1. Has the inside for turn 2, and now we're going to hopefully go to the inside of Raikkonen. We're actually going to go to the outside, and now we're going to get caught up behind Leclerc, so it probably wasn't the best place to go, but luckily Leclerc moves over to cover Raikkonen, and we get the position over the Alfa Romeo. Now we're back right behind Charles. We've got Gasly up ahead on the hards, who we're going to rein in pretty quickly as we come to the end of lap 13. I'm just saving my ERS at this point because I know the AI will just dump all of their ERS as much as possible. As you can see, Leclerc doing the same move again around the outside of Pierre, and he gets through. That's going to hold Pierre up on the exit, and hopefully we're going to use this to our advantage. We've got the overtake enabled. Got the DRS, we go to the left of Pierre. Then Leclerc covers us off, and then we get to the right of Leclerc. We get sandwiched. It's 3 right goes to turn 4. We break the latest out of anybody. We run wide at the exit, but luckily we keep the position as we've got Gasly up our inside now. A little bit of contact there through turn 5, but that was a fantastic move. That was just sort of weaving our way through the entire field. So we'll see. Looking here at the race director, there's a couple of 5-second penalties. One of us for Lance Stroll. And was for Daniel Kvyat. So I think Stroll got his for maybe collision under it can't be collision under safety car. I mean, he must have got one unfairly, but Kvyat's one was definitely fair. As you can see on lap 16 now, we currently are in the lead of the race, and we're a considerable way ahead of the Mercedes, as we're pitted at the end of that 25 now to go to a set of soft tyres. The Mercedes are 56 behind us, but they're both on hard tyres. So we're going to rejoin behind them. But we are going to be on fresh softs for the last 10 laps, so those softs will hold out. So we're going to have a pace advantage for the final stint of this race. Only really need to worry about tyre wear on the last 2 laps. But what these Mercedes need to do now is they need to work together to save ERS, to save fuel if they need to, and they just need to slipstream each other. But coming out of the pits, they got caught up in traffic during their second stint, and as you can see, they haven't really managed to pull a big enough gap and use the undercut, despite us battling through traffic, because we set the fastest lap of the race of a 107.6, and we're going to be 1 to 2 seconds a lap faster than these guys ahead. So I don't know what Mercedes were thinking, not pitting those guys under safety car, because that's basically shot them in the foot here. And we're definitely looking set to get a podium at the very least this race. We're now on to lap 30. Close up behind Lewis Hamilton, we're going to use the overtaker DRS. We're going to go to the right hand side, hang around the outside of turn 1. And that's going to be a move up into P2. Now we've got Valtteri ahead. Hopefully we can close to the back of him. We're going to have to defend from Hamilton to start off with. Going down the main straight, but it looks like he's either low on ERS or choosing not to deploy his. We've only got 40% left, so we're going to have to use Valtteri to pull us along a bit and then maybe go for the move on the last lap, or the second to last lap, as we're on to lap 33 now. We've saved a load of ERS. I don't think we deployed any in the preceding laps, as we just dived down the inside of Valtteri there, going to the final kink really, and that's us up into P1. So yeah, this has been a pretty fortunate turn of events, and we're actually going to hold on to this position pretty convincingly, given the soft tyre advantage. As you can see, we managed to pull out just over a 2-second lead over Valtteri, and that's it. That's our second race win in a row, third of the season, and it looks like we're becoming a pretty formidable force for the latter half of this championship. Obviously the championship's over, but the constructors isn't. For us, and the drivers isn't for us as well, so this win is definitely going to help us out a lot, and I bet Mercedes are going to be gutted with themselves because they definitely did lose that race on strategy.
Talk to me. What do you think it was that sealed the win for them?
The safety car completely changed the race, didn't it? It's hard to say exactly what would have happened without it, but there's no question that they came out of that situation in a good position.
Here comes your top 3 making their way down to the podium for what can only be described as a fantastic day for Formula One. Our championship leader is still sat at the top of the standings.
So overall, a very decent race result. As you can see, all the drivers that did one stops really lost out. I mean, the Mercedes still came second and third, but they were in such a commanding position before the safety car, and they could have easily pitted to go onto fresh softs. As you can see, Leclerc, if we look at him, I believe he finished 4th. Yes, Leclerc finished 4th. So if the Mercedes had gone 2-stop, they would have probably won this race. As you can see, we've jumped Albon now in the championship, and we're only 19 points behind Sebastian. I think we are 19 points behind Sebastian. So it's going to be a tall order to get him in the final race in Abu Dhabi, as we jump Racing Point in the constructors. But hopefully we can have a decent result for the I think for the final race. We either have to win or come second and get fastest lap, and Sebastian get no points. But that's the next episode. This one I'm very happy with the result. I feel like I drove exceptionally. We smashed Carlos Sainz in the rivalry pretty much. Obviously he had some pretty bad luck, I believe, in the past couple of races. But yeah, this is it's been a very strong end to the season, as we complete all of our team goals, get an extra $1 million, obviously because it's in dollars, made by a British company. I don't know either, I just stopped thinking. We're also saving up quite a lot of money. We're now at 11 million, and we're going to be saving that up for drivers. We're currently re-signing with the Payne company. Achieve a top 12 finish during the race. That's pretty simple. I feel like I should probably change that, maybe halfway through season 2. Obviously we'll have to see how much the regulation changes affect us, as we seem to be doing a relatively decent job of consolidating upgrades, but we do only have one race left in the season to consolidate the rest of the upgrades, and I believe there's maybe 10 left to do, 9 or 10. And now we're just putting on the activities. We're going to do simulator training again to try and help Jack. I've been trying to boost his performance lately just to help us out with get the constructors. I mean, even if Jack doesn't score any points, as long as he can be a pain in the ass for Racing Point, then I'm happy. But we're making a decent amount of money, decent amount of resource points, and yeah, that's the end of the episode. Now we've just got to work our ass off in Abu Dhabi, which is a very, very strong track for me, and a track that I absolutely love. So hopefully we can have a good race there. We're currently at 2 wins in a row. Now, maybe we can get a third. Let me know if we can get a third race win in Abu Dhabi on the trot to round out season 1. Hopefully we can. I feel that that's going to be quite a strong track for the Mercedes and the Racing Point as well. So it's going to be tough, but we'll give it our best shot. If you did enjoy this video, please do leave a like, share and subscribe, and I'll catch you all very soon.